Good. Have a seat. Next is Clint.
Yeah, if I recall in talking with your director, this is the inaugural performance festival-wise for Vista Murrieta #3, right? So you guys deserve a huge It's a real tribute to your, not only your program, but your parents and your director to have a high school with 3 jazz bands. That's saying you're doing all the right stuff and keep up the good work. And then obviously, if you're in this group, whether you call it the 3rd band or the 1st band or the H band or whatever, your goal is to just get better and better and become in the 2nd group or in the 1st group, and that's the way it works. And you're off to a great start. You're off to a fabulous start because, you know, Mr. DeFonte and I are sitting here listening to great pitch, and we're listening to great balance, and we're listening to great tones, and you're playing your horns well. And a lot of times a 3rd band comes in or a 2nd band from a junior high, and quite frankly, it's a fire in a pet store, you know? And come on, drums, give me a little comedy relief on that. I'll be here all week, try the veal, make sure you do it. But you guys are doing a really good job at basics, really nailing down the basics, and I can appreciate that. You know, the higher advanced fundamentals you have to work at. There were only a few moments where the trumpets, you know, 7-man trumpet section, that's tough to begin with, okay? And there were only a couple little spots where you didn't listen to the lead player and you had a little trouble with the unison pitch. That's just one of the things you can get better. And same thing, the duo on the 1st tune between the alto and the trumpet was spot on. You guys did a great job. Thank you for listening and adjusting, Taylor. But on the last tune, we had a little bit of problem. You heard it probably. The little trio with the trombone player at the beginning of this 3rd tune, right? Or 4th chart, whatever it is. Okay? You know what I'm talking about, right? The little trio thing.
It's probably the Sunset Bay thing.
Okay, whatever tune it was.
Yeah.
But that wasn't as well in tune. And you have to tune to the rear because they can't hear you in front. So you got to listen to that trumpet player and take good pitch from him. And you got to make sure that you're playing good pitch. Okay, because if you're giving them bad information, it's like you're hanging them out to dry. Trombones, again, 5 of you with big horns. So to balance 7 trumpet players, you got to use a lot of tongue, okay, to articulate. Like those first notes, da, da. I'm hearing the 2nd note. I'm not hearing the emphasis of the 1st note. You got to make sure you really articulate well, because you all got big trombones, okay? It's easier to do on a little smaller horn to get that tongue into the energy. Because that tongue for a brass player is the time and the energy, okay? So you got to work at that. Great Barry stuff, doing a great job on your solos and things. Taylor, good solo and things. All the solos are, you know, you're starting down the journey. You know, you're starting the pathway. And you're doing a lot of good things right. You always want to keep in mind that during an improvisation solo, which is a big part of our jazz festival, best tone you can play, best time you can play, best pitch you can play. Doesn't matter the context of the solo and what you're playing within it, make sure those 3 items are, you know, ABCs. Okay, those things have to happen, or no matter what you're playing, it's not that impressive, okay? Always play in tune, in time, with a great sound, okay? And then even if it's a young solo and the content is basic, at least you're in the right spot. Work on your arpeggios, work on your scales. For the soloists, you know where you guys are at, the more listening to jazz, the better. Okay, you have to listen to the jazz masters. You had a thing that Ernie and I didn't have when we were growing up. Go on YouTube, go on Google, okay, and start picking up jazz, you know, as far as the sounds and things off the internet. Who are the great, you know, each one of you should be able to name me 5 to 10 players in the jazz arena that you're listening to or at least aware of. And I know you can't do that. So it's a start. So everybody start figuring out, because everybody's in charge of improvisation, not just a few people that stood up today. Okay? The next festival, maybe, you know, in a really good jazz program, guess what? Next festival, 5, 6 other guys stand up. It's not the same cast. It's a new squad. And then maybe the festival at the end of the year, it's another different 5 or 6. See, that way we got a feeder system within the band as far as the improvisation. Because the ensemble's great. Your band as a whole, see, here's your band right up here, right? Really good today. And your solos are here. So we've got to bring this level up to this level, okay? We don't want this one to go down, okay? You're doing all the right things, okay? drums, make sure you really think about kicking the band as far as, what am I kicking? Am I kicking a short note or a long note? So that affects on what you're playing as far as instrument-wise, okay? Both drummers, did you play, yeah, careful tom-toms. The tom-toms are good for Latin stuff and things, but if you're kicking a swing chart, the tom-toms blend in with the trombone section. So they don't pick up on that. I mean, what's the purpose of a fill or a kick? To set up the band, right? So if you play a snare drum dominated, but it didn't, and then go around the set with the toms, but if you start with a good solid time thing with the snare drum, it'll be better energized, okay? Bass, good work. I like what you did. Piano we used a little bit more, you know. You have to have a friend out in the audience, and bass too. We always did when I was teaching. Make sure you have somebody that you can look at and say, how's my volume? How's my EQ? You know, I need a little bit more treble. I need a little bit more bass. You know, whatever. So that, you know, your director, because he's got his hands in lots of stuff, making sure people have microphones and things like that. Okay? But wonderful work today, guys. Really sounds good.
I just want to pass on a little tip. As far as improvisation, it's for anybody, all of you. It's very natural and normal to be terrified to begin improvising in front of someone else. At home, it's private. One exercise you can do at home, and then bring it to school and share it, is pick a simple tune. Now, I'm going to go back to when I was a child. You probably never heard of this little folk song. It's called Billy Boy. It goes like this. Read right. Will you put that reed in the right place?
I thought you were going to say that when you were a little kid and Lincoln was president.
That's right.
Yeah. Time.
See? That's Word. Any simple song, and just embellish it. Think of the song as a cake that hasn't been iced. Keep the cake the way it was made. Just add a little bit of your own icing on it. But make sure there's a melody in it. Do that alone first. And then when you feel confident, share it with your band director, share it with your friends, and then start playing fours with one another when you have time. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye. Good job.